It's time to talk a little Bears football. What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan or a fan of the NFL in general, make sure to go ahead and subscribe by clicking the button down below. I do post daily videos, so you don't want to miss out. And if you don't want to miss out, go ahead and also click the bell icon down below to be notified every time I post a new video. And also while you're at it, make sure to go ahead and follow me on my social media. Let's talk, let's debate. I tweet a lot, I post a lot on my social media accounts. You're going to want to follow me on there as well. So with that being said, you guys see the title of today's video. I'm going to be doing my annual 5 bold predictions for the Chicago Bears this upcoming season. And I really want to highlight the word bold here, okay? This isn't 5 realistic expectations. This isn't 5 so-and-so expectations. No, this is 5 bold expectations, bold predictions for the Chicago Bears. So keep that in mind. The goals may seem lofty, but that's why they are bold, okay? So that is something that I want to preface, but because a lot of people always talk about 5s, these seem a bit unrealistic. Well, for the most part, they should be a little bit, but I will definitely give my logic behind every single one of them. Don't you worry about that. But just want to make sure you guys know that this is bold for a reason, okay? So assuming, something where you're saying Allen Robinson, gets 1,000 yards, I think, again, that's pretty realistic to me. He was hurt a little bit last season, and I think he's very capable of getting that. So to me, that's really not that bold, okay? So that's one thing I want you guys to know before I start, of course, with my predictions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start, and I'm going to make sure that I start at number 5, and it's going to be the least boldest and going to the most bold prediction at number 1. So let's get started. So at number 5, we have got Mitchell Trubisky throws 30-plus touchdowns this season, okay? So there you have it. That is number 5. And number 5 signifies the least bold because, again, to me, this isn't that bold compared to the other ones I'm going to talk about. Okay, now let's talk about this one. Mitch Trubisky threw for 24 touchdowns last season, 12 interceptions. We know that. But the key number here is not the touchdowns. It is the number of games he played, which was 14. So he did not play a full season, missed 2 games. So if you just extrapolate that out to a full 16-game season, Mitch Trubisky could very well have thrown for 30 touchdowns. It might have been probably more around 27, 28. But again, that's why I'm going a little bit above that and saying 30 plus, because we're talking about a second year in Matt Nagy's offense. He's going to be more comfortable. He's going to have more rapport with the receivers like Allen Robinson, like Anthony Miller, like Taylor Gabriel. He's going to also have maybe a little bit more on his plate with Jordan Howard now out of the picture. And we've got a rookie running back in David Montgomery, who I'm going to be talking about in a second, and Tariq Cohen and Mike Davis. So the running game is going to be more so of a 3-man committee versus, Jordan Howard, who was our bell cow. So there's going to be a bit more on Mitch's plate, but he's going to be more comfortable this season, I believe, in the offense. And I believe he makes that Jared Goff leap that Jared Goff, of course, made under Sean McVay, in which he threw 32 touchdowns last season to just, I believe, 12 interceptions. So to me, again, Vegas has, I think, Mitch's touchdown totals at like 26.5, and I will take the over all day on that. I think I've actually predicted him to be around just about 30, but again, 30 to me is still a win. 30 to 30 plus touchdowns this season for Mitch Trubisky is my number 5 bold prediction for the Chicago Bears. My bold prediction number 4 for the Chicago Bears is that rookie running back David Montgomery leads all rookies in rushing. And of course, we're talking about rookie running backs. And again, this is still on my lower end of the bold predictions because, again, I do think this could very possibly happen. Of course, that's the only reason why I have it here. But let's talk about this because here's the thing. Jordan Howard, we know he's gone now. He's with the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? And Jordan Howard ran for 1,000-plus yards his rookie season. And the Bears have a very good offensive line, not the best in the NFL, but a very solid offensive line. And to me now, with Jordan Howard out of the picture, clearly we've got somewhat of a committee with Tariq Cohen, Mike Davis, and David Montgomery, the rookie running back we drafted. But I believe David Montgomery will separate himself very, very quickly from the pack, and he will take the starting job by storm. And another reason to take into account is the fact that I don't believe there's too many other rookies out there that have that same opportunity, okay? Josh Jacobs, is one that obviously you can bring up with the Oakland Raiders. He's going to have a clear advantage and a clear opportunity to win that starting job. But other than that, Miles Sanders, he's got to deal with Jordan Howard now in Philly. Darrell Henderson, a guy like that with the Rams who still have Todd Gurley. So to me, David Montgomery, when you take into account opportunity, when you take into account talent, and I believe he's more talented than Jordan Howard is, and arguably the most talented running back, a rookie running back right now this coming season in the NFL. I even wanted to go as far as to say he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and maybe I should have done that. But you know what? I do feel very strongly that he leads all rookies in rushing just because of how talented he is and the opportunity that he's going to get with the starting job for the Chicago Bears. My bold prediction number 3 for the Chicago Bears: Khalil Mack has a career year in sacks with 15 plus. Yes, that's right. I believe Khalil Mack breaks his own record for sacks with 15 plus. Now, of course, 15 is his career high, which is what he had, I believe, in his second season. Now, my reasoning for this is because of the fact that, again, obviously his second year with the Bears now, he is going to be much more comfortable in the Bears schemes, the defense, and he's going to obviously be able to get assimilated much more than he was able to get last year. If you guys remember, when we traded for Khalil Mack, basically, he basically didn't have a training camp and he was just thrown in the mix. Now, again, he's a Hall of Fame type of player, and he was absolutely unreal in that game against the Packers. But that is what Hall of Fame players like him do. And now you give him a full training camp, you give him a full summer with which the defensive coaches can work with them and he can work with them. Oh, he is going to wreak havoc on the NFL, folks. It is going to be really, really gruesome for other quarterbacks out there. I fear for their lives because I do believe Khalil Mack is going to have a career season. Another reasoning behind this, he only played 14 games last season, folks. So again, 12.5 sacks in 14 games is what he had last season. You can certainly see him get to his career high at 15 if you extrapolate it out to a 16-game season. And also, you take into account the fact that I believe Roquan Smith, Leonard Floyd, guys like this, and Akeem Hicks, of course, are going to be even better. And that will cause teams to put less double teams on Khalil Mack, which at that point, I mean, you are done because Khalil Mack, with single coverage, he's more often than not going to get to the quarterback. So to me, you take all of those things into account, and it's setting up for a career year in sacks for Khalil Mack. My bold prediction number 2 for the Chicago Bears: their receiver Anthony Miller gets 1,000+ yards receiving this coming season. And yes, you might think, Fiz, that is not bold, but it is, folks. It is very bold. What's not bold is what I mentioned earlier, which is predicting Allen Robinson to get 1,000 yards because he had 750+ yards receiving and only played in 13 games. So he can easily have had 1,000 yards last season in what was a poor season for Allen Robinson. This is much more of a bold prediction. Why? Because Anthony Miller only had 423 receiving yards, and that was in 15 games, and he only started 4. And that is my first reasoning for why I believe Anthony Miller could get that 1,000-yard number is playing time. Playing time is going to increase. Second year in the offense, obviously going to be much more comfortable, and he's going to get the requisite reps you need to get numbers like this because I believe he takes over the second receiver job behind Allen Robinson. Now, if you remember last year, that was Taylor Gabriel, and I believe this year Taylor Gabriel's snaps are going to dial back a little bit, not only because we've got Anthony Miller, but we also drafted Riley Reed, so I believe he's going to be integrated into the offense, and Taylor Gabriel really is just a situational deep threat player, doesn't have the versatility that an Anthony Miller does, okay? So Anthony Miller, to me, will get more reps, will get more snaps, which will increase this probability. And the second reasoning, and more importantly, is with Mitch Trubisky making the growth and leap that I believe he will, this chemistry between quarterback and receiver is going to be vital to this, of course, because last year, if you go and look at the tape, there was almost 300 yards left on the field by Mitch Trubisky. And I love Mitch, but again, we've known that he's had some issues with the accuracy. He had about 300 yards that he left on the field by just bad throws to Anthony Miller. So Anthony Miller could have had 300 plus yards more last season, so around 700, if he just had, better throws for Mitch Trubisky. And I believe this year that happens, and I believe that combined with the more playing time equals the 1,000 yards. So that is why I believe Anthony Miller gets that 1,000 yards. And the fact that I think he's insanely talented, can play the slot, deep, middle, whatever you need him to do, certainly doesn't hurt as well. So there you have it. And finally, my bold prediction number 1, drum roll please. The Chicago Bears make the NFC Championship game. Now, let me first defend myself before people start calling me homers and say, okay, Fives, just because you're Bears fans, you're predicting this. No, that's not true. Let me explain, okay? First and foremost, I said make. I didn't say win, okay? So that's the first thing, okay? And the second thing is, I actually have the Bears with the worst record this season than last, okay? I have the Bears going 10-6 as opposed to 12-4, which was what they had last season, the record last season. But I still have the Bears winning the division, okay? It's just that this season's schedule is much tougher. Now, that's number 2. Number 3 is the fact that I look at the NFC, and the reason I don't have the Bears winning the NFC Championship game is because of the fact that the NFC is a lot tougher than the AFC. The NFC has a lot of good teams, folks. And the 2 teams that I still believe obviously scare me a lot are the Rams and the Saints, okay? And the Rams are the main reason for me not saying that the Bears win the NFC Championship game because of that reason, okay? Because I still believe those teams are better than the Bears. Now, let's take a rewind back to the playoffs last season when the Bears had the playoff game against the Eagles, okay? And we all know how they lost in that game. Now, granted, you could say, Fives, they should have never been in that position where it was up to Cody Parkey to make or break the Bears' playoff hopes. Fair. I get it. But again, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. And that's why we love the NFL, right? And that just so happened where the Bears, again, were doomed because of their kicker. Let's pretend that Cody Parkey is a serviceable kicker and can actually make a field goal, okay? And he makes that field goal and the Bears win that game. Let's just say, go on to win that game. We're talking about the Bears possibly being favored against whoever they would have faced. Now, I can't remember. I think we would have played either the Rams or the Cowboys. So to me, the Bears could have beat either one of those 2 teams. Again, momentum-wise, if they had won that game, Mitch Trubisky, who a lot of people believe is the weakest link on the Bears, made would have been the game-winning drive and the game-winning throw to Allen Robinson, who had a huge game that playoff game. So everything turns if the Bears win that game against the Eagles. So I want people to remember this is a team that was looked at as a contender. So to them, making the NFC Championship game, it's certainly bold, but it's also something you can see being attainable. It's not unrealistic, okay? So to me, again, Saints are there that are could be put better than the Bears. Rams are there that you can make the argument better than the Bears, but you can put the Bears in the mix with just about any team in the NFC, in general, and say that they are better, and you can certainly make that argument. So to me, the Bears make the NFC Championship game. That is my bold prediction number 1 for you guys. So there you have it, 5 bold predictions for the Chicago Bears this upcoming season. Let me know if you guys agree with these bold predictions. Which one do you agree with? Which one do you not agree with? Leave a comment down below. Let's talk. Let's discuss. As always, thanks for watching.